Welcome back to Timeless Talks Now, where we bring the brightest minds of history into today's world to explore pressing topics. I'm your host, Ethan Crosswell, and today we have the privilege of speaking with one of the most influential figures in the history of science, Alan Turing. Turing was the mathematician and logician who cracked the Enigma code during World War II, helping shorten the war and saving countless lives. He's also known as the father of modern computing, laying the groundwork for artificial intelligence. Despite his brilliance, Turing faced immense personal hardship due to the society's persecution of his sexuality. Mr. Turing, thank you for joining us today. We are honored to dive into your groundbreaking work and your life, which still holds valuable lessons for us today.
Thank you, Ethan. It's both humbling and surreal to witness how my work has impacted the world in ways I could never have fully imagined. When I first envisioned the concept of machines that could think, I was concerned not just with their creation, but with the profound moral and ethical implications they would bring. We live in a time where these machines are becoming a part of everyday life. But I still wonder, what does it truly mean for something to think? And how do we ensure that these powerful tools are used for good?
One of the first surprising facts about you, Mr. Turing, is that you were a long-distance runner. Turing was known to be a keen athlete, and it's said that he ran the 10-mile race in 57 minutes, which was a fast time for that era. How did running help you in your thinking process? And did you use it as a way to clear your mind while solving complex problems?
Yes. Running was my way of stepping away from the complexity of my thoughts. It allowed me to disconnect from the task at hand and gain new perspectives. Sometimes, it was during a long run that a new idea would come to me, or I'd find a solution to a problem I had been working on for days. I've always believed that mental clarity and physical activity are deeply intertwined. A healthy mind requires a healthy body.
Another fascinating fact is that Alan Turing developed the first concept of the modern computer before computers even existed. He designed a theoretical machine, the Turing machine, which would eventually become the foundation for all computers. What were you thinking when you came up with the concept of this machine? Could you have imagined that it would evolve into the technology we use today?
The Turing machine was not so much a blueprint for a machine, but a way of thinking about computation. At the time, I was exploring the limits of what could be computed, and I realized that any problem that could be solved by a machine could be broken down into simple steps. In that sense, the Turing machine wasn't about building a physical machine, but about understanding computation itself. It's humbling to see how far it's come, but what excites me most is that we're only beginning to scratch the surface of its potential.
A lesser-known aspect of your life is your work on cryptography during World War II. You played a pivotal role in breaking the German Enigma code, a feat that is believed to have shortened the war by 2 years. What was it like, knowing that your work was pivotal in such a critical moment of history?
It was a time of immense pressure, but also one of purpose. We knew that breaking the Enigma code was essential for the Allied victory, but it wasn't just about winning a war, it was about saving lives. The work was difficult and frustrating at times, but there was always a sense of urgency and importance. I also knew that, once the war was over, my work would fade into the background. It was a sacrifice, but one that I was willing to make for the greater good.
Moving forward to a controversial moment in your life, did you know that despite your monumental contributions, you were persecuted for your homosexuality? This persecution, which led to your chemical castration, is one of the most tragic aspects of your life. How did this affect your work? And do you think it influenced how society viewed your genius?
The treatment I received was, in many ways, a reflection of the intolerance of the times. It's painful to think that my personal life, which had no bearing on my work, was used against me. It's even more painful to think that, in some ways, it was my own country that betrayed me. But despite everything, I remained focused on my work. The injustice I faced did not define who I was or what I could contribute to the world. Society's rejection of me does not diminish the importance of my work. If anything, it makes the need for acceptance and understanding even more urgent.
One of the lesser-known facts about Turing is that he was an avid writer of philosophy and mathematical theory. He was not only a brilliant mathematician, but also a deep thinker, often reflecting on the nature of thought and existence. How did philosophy influence your work, especially in the context of artificial intelligence?
Philosophy was integral to my thinking, especially when it came to questions of consciousness and thought. I often wondered, what does it mean to think? Can machines truly think? These questions were at the heart of my work on the Turing test, which I developed to determine whether a machine could think like a human. In many ways, artificial intelligence is as much a philosophical question as it is a scientific one.
Did you know that you were not only a scientist, but also an inventor? Turing invented several early computing devices, including the Automatic Computing Engine, ACE, which was one of the first designs for a stored program computer. How did this invention come about? And did you realize its potential at the time?
The ACE was an attempt to bring together the ideas I had been developing into something practical. It was a complex task, and frankly, I didn't fully understand at the time how monumental it would become. But I was driven by the idea that a machine could perform any calculation, given the right instructions. It was a bold concept, and though the technology of the time wasn't ready to build it, I'm proud that the foundations I laid have contributed to the world of computing we know today.
Before we continue with more amazing insights from Alan Turing, don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to Timeless Talks Now for more incredible interviews with history's greatest minds. Let us know in the comments who you'd like us to bring next. Now, back to the conversation. Turing's work wasn't only limited to mathematics and computers. He was also a cryptanalyst during World War II, playing a key role in breaking codes like Enigma. But did you know that Turing was also interested in the theoretical concept of artificial life?
Yes, I was fascinated by the possibility of machines or even artificial life that could evolve in response to their environment. It was a speculative area of research, but I believe it's linked to the way we think about AI today. The concept of machines that could adapt, learn, and evolve based on feedback is something that continues to inspire modern AI research. Who knows? Perhaps one day, we will see machines that truly evolve on their own.
Many people don't know that Alan Turing was also a lover of chess. He was an avid player, and his work on artificial intelligence was inspired, in part, by his interest in chess strategy. How did chess influence your work on AI?
Chess is a game of strategy and logic, much like computing. I saw it as a way to model decision-making in machines. In fact, one of my early ideas was to create a machine that could play chess. It was an early attempt at making machines think strategically. And while we are still a long way from machines that think like humans, I believe chess provided valuable insight into how a machine can analyze and make decisions.
Another curiosity about Turing is that he was influenced by the works of Charles Babbage. Babbage, the inventor of the first mechanical computer, was a significant inspiration for Turing. How did you come to appreciate Babbage's work?
Babbage was far ahead of his time. He designed a machine, the analytical engine, that could perform complex calculations automatically, an idea I later built on. What fascinated me was his vision of a machine that could not only calculate numbers, but could also follow instructions. It was this concept that inspired my own work and led to the creation of the Turing machine. Babbage's work was the foundation, and I simply continued the journey.
To wrap up our 10 surprising facts, did you know that Turing was an author of several works in mathematical logic and cryptography that were not fully recognized until decades after his death? His contributions to the foundations of modern computing were hidden for so long, but today, his work is celebrated worldwide. How do you feel about how your legacy has evolved since your time? And what do you think future generations can learn from your contributions?
It is both humbling and surprising to see how my work has been reevaluated and appreciated in the years following my death. At the time, my ideas were often dismissed or misunderstood, but I never thought of myself as seeking recognition. I worked because I believed in the power of knowledge and the potential of machines. As for future generations, I hope they learn the value of perseverance, the importance of ethical considerations in science, and that every discovery has the potential to change the world.
Before we dive back into Alan Turing's incredible legacy, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Talks Now. We're bringing you exclusive insights from history's greatest minds, and we want to hear from you. Who would you like to see next on the show? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Alan, it's been such an honor to speak with you today. Your work continues to shape our world, from the computers we use every day to the ethical challenges we face in developing artificial intelligence. Your life and legacy remind us that progress is often slow, and that true innovation requires both persistence and vision. To our viewers, thank you for tuning in. If you found this conversation as enlightening as we did, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments who you would like us to bring on next in Timeless Talks Now. Until next time, stay curious and stay inspired. And remember, never stop questioning.